And now for something completely different.
And the badassery continues here at Metalomania, man. Chock full of mini metal guests continues here for us, man. I'm super excited about it as well, dude. What's up, guys? What's up? How are you tonight?
We are doing well.
Great, man.
What a fucking show, man. Hey, we get accused of a lot of things, but they're only accurate when they accuse us of bringing the badassery. Thanks again to Hell Pie for coming by. Thank you to No Mas for coming by and sharing that jam with us. And my friends Angerot, who are literally instrumental to the soundtrack to my life for several years now, guys, man. So I appreciate you coming back. It's been 2 years since we spoke, man. I'm glad to catch up with you guys.
It's been a fast 2 years, seems.
Yeah. We're honored to be back, my friend.
A fast 2 years indeed. I blinked and this year just fucking slipped by. I was celebrating New Year's in New York like 12 seconds ago, and here we go again, man. What the fuck?
Another
Crazy
trip.
What I'm most looking forward to in 2023, literally right there, if you gave me a pen, a pencil, and put a gun to my head and said, what the fuck is happening in 2023 you're looking forward to? A new Angerot. A new Angerot is coming down the pipe, man. So it makes my list. I'm super excited about this, you guys.
Yeah, we are too. You know, this album's been a little bit of a different path for us as far as how we've gone about the production of it and stuff. So a lot of things have been done for quite a while. So, I mean, it feels like an eternity for us, you know, to try to get this material out. And, you know, in reality, it's not, but from our perspective, it's been a long time. So we're really ready for this thing to come out and kind of put it on ears.
Dude, the world has undergone that weird thing, man, where the things you want to go quickly seem to drag, and the things you want to drag go quickly, man. What a bastard, you know?
Yeah, true.
That's some pure fuckery going on there. Well, Jason, Bill, fucking you guys, I'm super happy to be catching up with you again. It's been 2 years, man. So what have you been doing the last couple of years? But creating this record, I take it, and give me some oversight and some background.
Well, I mean, technically, you know, when we did Divine Apostate, we actually recorded all of the drum tracks for the last album and this album at the same time. So, I mean, and this album's been done basically since January of last year. So,
wow, no shit.
It takes time to get this stuff out. You know, vinyl production's slow. So, we've just been refining kind of and looking forward to the release of this. And in the meantime, kind of been working on some new material as well. So, but anyway, you know, the focus is going to be on this new album. It's going to come out March 24th with Redefining Darkness Records, and we're using the same artist. And it's, you know, I think the music is going to be a little bit different, but as you probably saw, we got some killer special guests on there that we should talk about at some point.
Yeah, I've been following along, man. I took a couple of guesses. I was right on a couple of them, but yeah, that's an amazing, man. That's an amazing journey that brings us to here. Honestly, it's been a weird couple of years, but now that we are, you know, you got a spring release. How perfect is that? That in the year 2023, that many of us have marked as the breaking of the cocoon that we've been in over the last fucking, you know, what feels like eternity, like you say, you know. That's going to break open, and right on time for the sunshine to hit. We're going to have Angerot in our fucking back door, man. That's a beautiful thing, brother.
Yeah, we're excited. I think, you know, you obviously hope that every project you do is, you know, a step up the ladder from the previous one. And I think this is definitely, you know, from production to, you know, there's just a lot of things, you know, every time we make a step forward on an album, we kind of throw the rules away from the last one. And this is no exception. You know, we try to do some things that we, you know, didn't do on the previous record that, you know, but I think it's a little more creative in that regard. So,
and still at heart, Angerot fucking album. Like Jay said, that you know, the nucleus of this was written along the lines of Divine Apostate, but setting these tracks aside and coming back, you know, we released Divine April 2020, world shuts down. What do? You take time and you focus on the next one. And it allowed us time to kind of fuck with things a little bit, so that, like Chad said, it's different, but at the same time, that nucleus is still there. It's still fucking Angerot album.
Fuck yeah.
I think we don't settle with our writing. So when we have a song, we try to find the spark that triggers our ear. And if the spark is not there yet for us, it's not done. So, we had a few songs that I think we were kind of on the fence on as far as in the early stages of writing, but they've probably become some of our favorite songs because of the sparks that were infused in there, whether it's some orchestration or, some part in the chorus that is half spoken, half sung, whatever. Every song has to have a hit factor for us. And that's our goal with every song, not every album, but every song. So, and I think we got there, in my opinion.
Well, that's interesting. Some songs I've been told over the years, they catch fire for you right away and you love them and as you create them, but those tend to be the ones that kind of catch fire right away and burn the quickest. But it's the ones that marinate and build over time that you tinker with until you feel comfortable with, have kind of longer legs, if you will. Would you agree with that statement? Or?
Absolutely. I mean, I think the prime example for that's going to be the title track for the album. That was one initially when we got it all written and tracked out. I told the guys, I said, I really am just not feeling this song at all. And I'm struggling with it, lyrically and how this thing is going to manifest and come together. And we just fucked with it. Seems like till no end. And then all of a sudden things started to gel on that track. And it's so unique in compared. Well, it's definitely a standout track as far as it's super dynamic and a lot of elements in there, a lot of layers in there. But it takes a little bit different path, almost down a symphonic road a little bit. Both I'd say, in vocal delivery and, there's a lot of keys involved. Going down the guest thing path again, we ended up working with a tremendous keyboardist on this record that contributes quite a lot, but in a manner that is very fitting for what we do. I think sometimes,
nice.
They'll pick up and say, "Oh, we need keys in this section," and it's like a sore thumb because it's not really rooted in the music. And this guy is tremendous at knowing what the song needs and what it doesn't need. So it's been an addition in that regard, and I'd almost say we'll probably continue to keep working with him through
that perfect blend.
Yeah, and I think that type of element is as critical as a vocalist, really. Like, you can get, like myself, for example, you can get a rhythm player to come in there and play the rhythms and whatever, but to get someone who understands the dynamics of, key structures in extreme music is, for a keyboardist is really a difficult role to fill. So
right, gigantic, right?
Yeah, for sure. You can definitely go from genius to idiot real quick.
Right, and you don't want to have to be in the room going, fuck, we got to tell this guy to leave now.
Yeah.
Well, along the lines of, you said a lot of this material was somewhat created at the same time. As you were kind of divvying out what would be on Divine and what would be on the new release, was there a specific, like, well, this one feels this way and this one feels a little this way, so that branched itself out? Or was there more of just a general shotgun array? Or
I think it was more, they were really in like a rough draft, concept development at that point, enough to get the drums all recorded. And then you kind of, I guess I don't know how I would describe how we split them up. Just kind of
some of it was dealing with tempos and speeds. But there was also, like I mentioned with the title track, I think there was 3 songs where I was really clueless on how I was going to apply myself to those songs. So I, on my half, just kind of said, they're going to have to wait. Those songs are going to have to wait. And all 3 of those songs, I think, are pretty standout tracks now, So I think a lot of it was probably just feeling, what felt like it should have gone on Divine, ended up on Divine. There was definitely a handful of songs that, when you talk about those lightning moments, they just happened faster with those songs. And some of the songs that just took a little bit more massaging, I guess, and just needed more time, right, ended up on this record. And I think each record benefited as a result. I think Divine has a certain amount of aggression to it that is, unique and for what we do. And then I think with Profound, the new one, there's a lot more of a thought out process to the tracks. And you'll be able to hear that when you hear the full record, I think, is that there's just a little bit more of a composition totality of everything, even flow of the record from beginning to end, how everything's put together.
Well,
A fuller sound. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Some of the things we did with Divine, with the female vocalist and kind of the things we did at the beginning and the end of the record, stepping out a little bit of a comfort zone and experimenting that way really brought the songs on Profound to life more, because we were more comfortable with stepping out of that box a little bit more, because we did it here on Divine.
Right.
Now,
right.
put the envelope a little bit further.
Wading a little out into the water there. Yeah, fuck yeah, that's good shit. Well, and what led to some of these guys joining you for this? Like you spoke about the female accompaniment to Divine. You've certainly got an arsenal that you bring behind this one as well, man. How did that kind of branch out? How did that turn into having some of these guys come and join the new release?
So it's kind of 50-50. There's certain guys on this new record that we've been talking to for a long time, like Steve Tucker. I mean, we tried to have him on the last record, and timing a lot of it's timing. I think, there's been guys that we still haven't had a chance to work with yet, because by the time we are in that process of recording, they're on tour or they're recording, or, it's a lot of scheduling to work out. And this time, I think two of the guys, we had them planned out quite a ways ahead of time. And then, a couple of the other guys, sometimes we get through a song and it's like, God, who would sound really good on this track, and I think that was, the case with Simon. Is I could just hear his vocals on that song. And, that one was probably a little bit trickier as far as schedules to get done, but totally worth it.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I'm excited as fuck.
It's kind of, I guess, it's been our thing, Angerot, since the first album. Each album we have those. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where if you can collaborate with some of your heroes, why not? Because if we have this bucket list of this stuff and we just ask these people to do it, and you know what, they might say yes.
Fuck yeah, right.
Through some connections, and Chad's made a lot of connections with his side businesses and things like that. So I mean,
we can name them, can't we?
Yeah.
I mean, we put them out there.
Yeah, they're out there now, man. Again, to let everybody who's not already up to date, let them know who we're talking about here.
All right, so we got Andy LaRock on guitar, on a guitar lead from the Mighty King Diamond, and also did an album with Death. We got Simon Olsen from Based from Denmark. They're on Century Media, and they're just kind of blowing up. And
Love to get them on the show sometime, actually.
We got somebody that you just had on the show not too long ago, Sammy Douay from Goat Whore.
That's right. Just talk to him. Just talk to Sammy. Yeah.
So we got him playing a lead, and then we filmed a video with him that will be in the future. And then the last one on this album is Stephen Tucker from Morbid Angel on vocals. And then I would also like to mention we have two kind of unsung guests that we mentioned. Our keyboardist that we're working with, David Rojas, I believe, from the Netherlands. And then we got a guy on vocals from Germany named Sebastian Bracht that are really some unsung heroes of the album as well.
For sure. It's really crazy how big these guys stepped up. I mean, there isn't anybody that's on the record that didn't blow me away by their contribution, but for two guys that are, that we kind of happenstancely came across and thought they'd be fitting for being a part of what we do, their contributions are phenomenal. So I'm ecstatic about what they brought to the table and how well they fit into what we did.
I'd like to give him a full. David Gutierrez Rojas is his name, the keyboardist, and he's a keyboardist for a band called Bleeding Gods and Halifron. So yeah, that's who we got on that side. So pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, man. I'm so fucking excited about this, you guys. I can't even tell you. Dude,
Well, Andy LaRock has always been, I've always said he's my favorite guitar lead guitarist pretty much ever. His tone and what he accomplishes. So, man.
The age-old metal debate of King Diamond versus Merciful Fate, I personally have always leaned King Diamond, and Andy is a huge part of my argument for it. So there you go.
I'm with you.
Fuck yeah. So Hey, no doubt. I'm not putting any shame on Hank. Now, don't get me wrong. Hank Sherman's one hell of a badass too. That's not what I'm saying. But Andy,
kind of comes down to who you were introduced to first.
Yeah.
You know, because for me, it's like, you know, like Don't Break the Oath is just catchy. Every single note on that record. You know, the lead work, I don't think compares to King Diamond, but gosh, the song structures are so.
They are. That is silly stuff. Yeah. See, Don't Break the Oath was my first introduction to King Diamond in general. So.
Right.
But yeah, you know, I've always been a huge Andy guy. So man, yeah, when I saw Andy you guys landed Andy, I was like, you know, yeah, if this was one of those shows, you know, on one of them XXX channels, you know, we'd have a whole bit of different, you know, it's better than porn is what I'm telling you. It's better than porn. Goddamn it. For a metalhead like me, that's better news than porn, you know, so.
It's really for, you know, for me personally, it's a huge part of my excitement on doing, you know, going through the recording process and it really pulls us down the pathway of friendships and kind of bonding over music. And, you know, kind of the way we grew up in the early 90s, you know, late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s, to where, you know, that connecting the dots between things and being introduced to new things and the friendships we've formulated from some of this stuff is just, it's worth it all on its own, you know, for all the work and everything. But it's one of my favorite parts about recording new albums, without a doubt.
For what it's worth, as a Misfit fan, you know, I've always said metal in so many ways is what many of us Misfits fall back on, man. I mean, but over time we've built this Misfit community where we're kind of no longer Misfits anymore because there's so many fucking of us. And
right.
Divine is a release that it's literally fucking, you know, right there center stage for the Misfits within us trying to get through this stupid fucking world, man. You know, I can't overstate that shit. It's huge to me. You know, I've listened to that release no less than 500 times. I mean, think about that shit. That's a lot of your time of your life you invest to that shit. That's valuable stuff, man. And I anticipate the new one with such zeal. So yeah, I'm sorry, please.
Hopefully it lives up to your expectations.
You talked about the title track being the outlier, but I notice the one we're going to play for tonight is They Shall Take Up Serpents. What it goes behind that process, man? Give me a little insight into how you do decide what you're going to put out into the world before the release.
It's very tough. You know, there's a lot of songs on this album that all have very distinct personalities. And ultimately, I think with why the Serpents was selected first is kind of a stupid reason, to be honest. We got an opportunity to film at a big haunted attraction. Is that Omaha?
Glendale, a little south of Omaha.
Glendale, Iowa.
And called Hillside House of Hell. And the place is crazy cool. I mean, if you're in the region, you got to go. But we got an opportunity to film there, and in reality, the only song that we were really prepared to do was Serpents. So that song, because you know, like we were talking, some of these songs just took a long time to kind of formulate and get where they need to be. And you know, now in retrospect, I think Serpents is a really strong song, but I think it's just a foretaste of some of the very, very dominant tracks to come. And some of those will be singles. The other thing that is different is on past albums, all the singles we release are just audio only, where we're trying to take a different approach this time. And every single we release is going to have a video.
Awesome.
So, you know, just we've had a little bit more time to do that. And we've got 2 videos completely done, edited and ready to go. And we're going to be starting on a 3rd one here very shortly. So, you know, we can work through this process, but I really want to push these singles, you know, not only sonically, but visually. We're obviously a very visual band. But, you know, I think as time has progressed, especially even since 2020 to now, that you're processing so much more with your eyes than just your ears. I mean, it is so in the end, it is music, but, you know, part of what we are, you know, and there's just certain bands that are that way. I think we're just very visual in what we're trying to connect with the music. So this was the route we decided to go this time, and Serpents just ended up being prepared ahead of the pack from the other ones. So
right. It was up on the tee first, and so you whacked at that bitch.
And the other, I think, there's so many guests on this album.
Yeah.
That we wanted to do it correctly, and you know, we do have the track coming up that's got Sammy on it, which we were lucky enough to kind of coordinate some things. So he was here and was part of the video shoot with us. So you know, it's juggle those kind of oddball elements and to make, you know, the single selection make sense.
Right. A tough gig, especially in an album that you anticipate having so many flavors. You know what I mean? You're kind of like, you know, because one single could be very, very different from the other. I do love that, you know, Marco from The Crown said to us recently that you have to almost put out 3 to 4 videos per every album now. As in the metal genre, maybe not in others, you know, but we are a visual medium, the metal thing. You know, there's more to it than just the music, and I couldn't agree more, honestly.
Yeah,
So.
pretty much exactly what we said. I think that's kind of hot. So I guess we agree with that sentiment.
Yeah.
1,000%. Oh, so that means this video will be one of many to expect out there, Metalomaniacs, man.
Would say so.
As soon as pre-orders are available, is pre-orders available yet, or that's coming? Or?
Yeah. Angerot.com.
I'll be there. I'll be there as soon as we're done. You can count on that. I got so much Angerot shit. I'm gonna need an Angerot room up in this bitch. You know what I mean?
Well, unfortunately for you, we just released what I feel is like our strongest merch lineup yet too. Like as far as apparel goes, I mean, there's just as we've progressed, we've tried to improve how we're doing things and how we're, you know, what products we're putting out there. And God, I don't know. I think we got some cool shit this time. So
hey, well, send your boy the Crypt one of those frequent flyer coupon codes or something. There you go. Well, let's talk about this song specifically, though. You did decide to go with "They Shall Take Up Serpents." Tell me about this guy, Jam, and this video specifically. I know that this was the one that teed up, but tell me about the video everybody's about to see.
Well, I'll tell you about the content of it, and then I'll let somebody else talk for a minute. The content basically kind of revolves around, you know, especially in the era that we live in, being influenced into maybe things that you normally wouldn't do. I think right now the you know, human nature's to be manipulated and led is such a divide. You know, there's just a vast group of people who love to be led and love to follow. So this kind of goes down that road a little bit of that oddity of snake cults and the snake charmers and the twist that it has in faith. So that's kind of the premise of the song. And we, like I said, when we ended up connecting with the Hillside guys, they had a unique situation that really fit well with the concept of that song.
Yeah, you can't really go wrong when there's already a pre-made former chapel of a nursing home turned into a satanic church with pews and a pulpit and everything already there for you. What better concept song than, you know,
Fuck.
Charmers leading you astray?
That sounds amazing. I'll see you there Sunday.
I think that one's on Saturday night.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, much better time on Saturday night. That's yeah, right.
Yeah, so that place is a former nursing home turned into a haunted house up on a hillside in this. Just you got to like go up a hill, you know, to get. Obviously, it's called the Hillside House of Hell. So it's just, and then outside they've got a chapel with upside down crosses at the top, and it's just like, man, it's like you go in there and it's like
30,000 square feet or something.
Yeah, I mean, we were walking around.
Did we get lost in there? Was that you and I? Yeah. Chad and I wandered around because it's all animatronic. It's like a very high-end haunted attraction, but everything is turned off. It's the middle of the day. We're only filming in one little spot, and Chad and I walked around getting lost in the dark, and I mean, there's all sorts of shit going on. It was like 2 dudes who bought this and started it, and were doing it, and they were like
living there.
Yeah, they lived there. They renovated 2 old nursing house rooms, or whatever you want to say, and had electricity and water or whatever for them. So it was like half this haunted attraction that was badass and half abandoned fucking haunted nursing home for real.
Oh, fuck yeah, that's made for metal. That should have they should have a metal sign hanging out that motherfucker.
But their crew was awesome. So a lot of the you know, the whatever extras or whoever, whatever
actors, performers for the attraction.
We're all part of the the haunted house or whatever you want to call that place. There's more than a haunted house.
Right.
So that's where we got a lot of the people to help contribute to the video and to act and help, because I can't act, obviously. I can barely talk. So, but they did a wonderful job. Great crew, and it was a long day, very long day.
It was a long day.
Adam, the guy that we work with on a lot of our video production, I think he just did a great job. Vibes. So
yeah, we've done 4 videos with him now, and he's amazing. Gives us what we need, and he's just great to work with. So
fuck yeah, I love the video. I love the song. I love you fucking guys, man. I'm not ashamed or fucking afraid to tell you, man.
I love you too, Scully.
You goddamn right. You guys mean the world to me, man. I appreciate you hanging out with us. Well, what say we go ahead and punch everybody in the face with this jam then?
Sounds good.
Let's do it, man. Boom.
Fuck yeah, man. Well, there you have it, man. We've had an amazing lineup of guests come through and hang out with us for Metal-O-Mania tonight. And I appreciate you guys doing it, man. It means the world to me, for real.
Thanks for having us.
100%.
Thank you.
We'll talk again, right?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Fuck yeah. Well, there you go. All of you Metal-O-Maniacs, I will be, while this song's playing, I'm going to be on the computer. I'm going to be pre-ordering this new release. I got to get some more fucking merch. Jesus Christ, man. I'm going to, I need an Angerot room, but hey. Yeah, man, thanks. Enjoy Metal-O-Maniacs, and thanks again to you guys, for real. Much love to you.
Peace.
Right on.
This is C.R. Pettit from Angerot, and you're listening to Metal-O-Mania with Crypt and Scully.
Chosen, I Apollo slew the serpent at Delphi, which was a big-ass snake.